Okay, welcome to my presentation. This is A Tale of Two Cities, a summary of pages 96 through 105, slide by Jordan Brooks. And for any questions, A Tale of Two Cities is written by Charles Dickens. Okay, A Tale of Two Cities. This is a picture of Mr. Lorry talking to Dr. Manette. And so, I'm just going to read. I resume reading the story when Mr. Lorry arrived at the home of Dr. Manette and was conversing with Miss Prowse. They were discussing the situation with Dr. Manette and their beliefs on what happened to him. In one of my recent essays, I discussed my beliefs on Dr. Manette suffering from PTSD. The author uses this discussion between Miss Prowse and Mr. Lorry for the reader to understand more information on the doctor's symptoms. We learn that the doctor often wakes up and paces in the hallway, and his daughter often wakes up and paces with him in silence. This allows for the reader to further understand that the doctor is having symptoms of something and is mentally scarred. We also learn that his daughter is his mental soother because Miss Prowse tells us that when she walks with him, he often becomes better and is able to calm down and stop pacing throughout the night. Later on in the story, after the discussion between Mr. Lorry and Miss Prowse, the author continues to write about the time that the characters all spent together. We learned that Mr. Lorry, Dr. Manette, Miss Manette, Mr. Darnay, and Mr. Carton were all in attendance of the home. The author allows us to further gain more information through context clues. Mr. Darnay tells a story of someone who's in a prison cell of the tower and wrote a letter that was buried into the ground to be hidden from the gaoler. Gaoler is just prison guard in old, slang. When the story is told, Dr. Manette becomes ill and decides for the group to return back into the house. This allows for the reader to understand that this mystery man may have been Dr. Manette. So, for further context, Mr. Darnay was telling a story about there was a person who initialed the letters D-I-G, which they thought were, initials of a person, but actually spelled out the word dig, and when they dug, they found a letter that was written by someone that the prisoners didn't know what it was, but eventually the jailers found out what it was. Okay. From what I've read today, I'm led to believe that Dr. Manette was the mystery man who wrote on the wall and buried the letter that Mr. Darnay was telling a story about. I believe this because when Mr. Darnay began to tell the story, Dr. Manette randomly became sick and unwell. This makes me believe that that Dr. Manette may be hiding something that he does not want the others to figure out. So that was my total summary of pages 96 through 105. Thank you.